Anna here, and today I am going to take a look at a dice variant of a very well-known game, and that is Castles of Burgundy, the dice game. In this variant, made also by Stefan Feld, it promises us to be a more quicker experience of the classic Castle of Burgundy. I am pretty excited to see if they can deliver upon that promise. So let's get to the explanation and then to what I thought about the game. At the start of the game, everyone is going to get one of these sheets, and you are going to pick one of the 4 starting locations, and you are going to get immediately one of the bonuses that is on that spot. Every round, a random player is going to throw all the dice, and all the players are going to use the result of these dice. The first thing all the players are going to do is cross off the result of the time die. You are going to do that right in the corner here, and this is going to capture how many time you have left every round. And when you have to cross off 2, there's going to be a bonus that I'm going to explain later to you. Let's say that we are going to start right over here, and that this would be the dice roll. You are going to see what colors you have thrown, and you are going to check, of course, the numbers that you have thrown. You are only allowed to do a number that is adjacent to a number that you already did. When you want to fill out one of the purple areas, you of course need a purple die, and besides that you need a 1 or a 2, because you can only put a 1 or a 2 in the purple area. When you want to put a number in the gray area or the mines, you need a 3 or a 4, besides the fact that you need a gray die. This is also for the blue area, but then you need a 5 or a 6 to put it in one of those blue areas. Then we have the last 3 colors. With the orange one, you're only allowed to put in different numbers in the one adjacent area. So in this one, you should have 4 different numbers, in this one 3 different numbers, and so on. The green castles, you can only put in a number if that number is already adjacent in one of the areas that is around it. And with the green ones, you can put in anything that you want, but it has to be the same. So you can only put in multiples in those areas. Every time you finish an area of a certain color, you are going to get a bonus for that. And those bonuses are explained down here. When you use a bonus, you are going to cross off one of those bonuses to remember that you already used that one. With the purple bonus, you are allowed to change the color die in any color that you need. With the gray bonus, you are allowed to cross off 2 numbers. And with the orange bonus, you are allowed to change the number die in any number that you need. The blue bonus is a little bit special because you can only use it if on the time die 2 time is rolled. You are going to cross it off, which is going to give you 2 points, and you are going to get an extra green bonus, which allows you to cross off 2 things. Every time you finish a certain area, you are going to score, of course, points, and these are going to be higher or lower depending on the round that you are in. You are going to get 8 points for a 3 area if you are in the first round, 6 points, and 4 points if you are in one of the later rounds. So you just have to count how big the area is and check in which round you are to know how many points you are going to get. The only exception to that is the green area right here. This one is going to give you the amount of points that it says right here times 2. So in this one, you want to get it as quickly done as possible, because then you are going to get a lot of bonus points. Besides the normal field scoring during the game, you're also going to get extra bonus points if you finish a whole color. So if you are the first to do so, you are going to get, for the green, you're going to get 4 points, and this depends on the color if this is going to be more or less points. And also, if you are the second to do so, you're also going to get points for that. The game is going to be finished if all rounds are over, and then you are going to tally up the points for every round that you played, and you are going to add up the points that you got for finishing up a certain color. This is going to be your point total, and of course you are going to be the winner of the game. First of all, the theming and the artwork. Just like with any roll and write game really, the theming is pretty thin and the artwork is just there mostly to make it more clear what you have to do and where you have to fill stuff in. And there are lots of symbols, and for a player that is going to play this for the first time, just like with Castles of Burgundy really, it can be a little bit daunting and overwhelming. But I think when you've played it once, the symbols are pretty clear and it's more clear what you are going to be able to do when you finish a certain area. The most important question, of course, is does this game feel like a dice variant of Castles of Burgundy? And I can say the answer to that is a big yes. This game really feels like a short version of Castles of Burgundy. It just has the same kind of engine. You are trying to get a certain area of the same color and you are trying to finish that as quickly as possible, because then you are going to get the biggest bonuses. And everything that you finish, you are going to get a certain bonus that you can use later on. So it feels like the same engine you are trying to build. They just added some different timing things, like with the send timer die that you are going to throw to determine how fast the game is going to go. I really like roll and write games, and this one is no exception. And what I really like about this one is that it feels more like a whole game to me. Most roll and write games are just little fillers, and this one gives me that little bit of extra oomph, just like Castle of Burgundy does, but then in a shorter version. So that's something that I really enjoy. The thing that I also really like about this game is that there's just one roll and everyone is going to use that one roll, and there's not a thing like everyone has a turn and you have to wait for that turn. The dice are going to be thrown, everyone is going to check those die to see if they can do anything. And also something that I also really like is the fact that you almost always have something to do and have multiple choices. You're just going to think like, is it better to finish off my orange area, but it's a very small area and it's not going to give me that many points. And if I'm going to do this one thing in the purple area, which is of size 3, I maybe will be able to score more points in this round, but this orange area is going to give me points immediately. And there are just many of those a little bit difficult choices to be made, and every dice roll you are going to get those choices, and everyone is just going to do those choices at the same time. So there's never really a dull moment. Just like within Castles in Burgundy, they have multiple different scoring pads. You have an A, a B, a C and a D side, which all have a different configuration. So with in one game, multiple people can play with different score pads, and in this way you can even add a little bit to the longevity of the game and have that variety which you maybe want. Because everyone can start with a different castle. Right from the get-go, everyone is trying to get different numbers and different colors. So the variety already comes in there and everyone is going to have their own path to victory. The game box says that you can play this game up to 5 players, but truly you can play this game with as many people as you want, as long as you have paper to let them write their stuff down. Because everyone is going to use the same roll. And the only downside to having more players is the fact that you cannot really see what the other people are doing. So it can be a little bit chaotic, but there is not really anything that is going to keep you from playing with more than 5 players. And a thing that I also really like was how they handled the timing in the game, because you have those 3 rounds and you are going to determine how fast the game is going to go by throwing that time die. And the fun thing about this is that it is a little bit modular and it can be different across games how fast a certain round is going to go, and you cannot really anticipate on that. And also normally if you would throw the 2 time, it would be a little bit negative, because you would be like, oh no, the round is almost over and now I cannot finish my area to score those extra points. But because you can get an extra when you throw that 2 time, it can be even a little bit fun when that happens. So I think they negated that really good to give something special to that negative 2 time die roll. So all in all, I really like the game. It really feels like a fast version of Castle of Burgundy. It has some interesting ways that it tries to do the timing, and the fact that everyone can join in makes this an excellent game, a roll and write game to try out. And that is going to be Castles of Burgundy, the dice game.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.